3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Pro Line with Jim Price. I'm Dave Token. And we've got a college football triple header tonight, some NBA, some NHL, and then we gear up for an absolutely amazing weekend. Full college football schedule, another very important week in the NFL, and, of course, the start of the college basketball season. We've got plays up online right now. I've got college football selections available for the weekend, including my early play, which is 9-2 for the season. This week it's on TCU, Oklahoma. Coming off a very good night last night because I had one big play in the NHL, my game of the year, game of the week. Game of the week was on the St. Louis Blues, and they took the measure of the Devils 3-1, so I was really happy with that result. And glad I stayed out of the college football games. Jim, you are locked into the NFL and college football this weekend. Some big plays in the NFL that are available right now.
Yeah, I have, I believe, 5 or 6 NFL sides and totals already posted. I have 3 college football games up. I also have college basketball on my mind, and I don't know if you do too, Dave. There's like 300 college basketball teams, and you got to really work on hard to get there. And I want to just point out something that's different than when we started in the sport of college hoops than it is today. It's called the one and done era. And that really affects the bigger, stronger, more popular teams that get the best recruits. Because those are the guys that end up spending 1 year in college and going off to the pros. They might even spend 2 years and going off to the pros. That doesn't happen at the smaller schools. Now, when the team loses at 1 or 2 or 3 players, like Kentucky might even lose 8, at any one time because they have so much talent, it makes it very difficult for the odds makers and the handicappers to know how these new recruits and how these new players are going to come in and gel. We know they're good, there's no question about that, and we know they're going to be favored in almost every game they play. But until you see them play under stressful conditions, you don't know how it's going to work out. So
that's right.
I like to focus on the other group of teams that don't have the one and done issue. And the reason for that is you have stability. You have kids that are coming in, they're playing their 4 years, they've usually have the same coaching staff, although that does change, and you have to keep on top of that too. But when you have that, you've got stability from 1 year to the next. You've got the same systems in place, the same rotations, and yes, they all add a player or two and lose a couple through graduation. So it's less to keep track of. And you have your numbers, your power ratings, the consistency, home and away, conference, non-conference, is more stable, and that's what I like. I like stability, because I'm looking for a very strong percentage of winners, and you only need about 56% to win, but I'm not looking for 56, especially early in the season when I feel I can actually hit 62, 64, because nobody really knows how strong these teams are. Even the odds makers are kind of blind. So if you can get an edge on a couple teams or a couple conferences, the lesser conferences, you can actually build up a hell of a bankroll before the conference play starts. So that's my tip to all of you, is to keep track of what Dave and I are doing, because I know Dave feels exactly the same way.
Yeah, no question about that. And, it's to the point where you really do have to focus on information early. I make my I've assigned a power rating to every team, but like the odds makers and like the magazines and like the websites, we're all doing a little bit of guesswork at this time of year. So I prefer to really focus on what is actual factual information where I can determine an edge. And I won't have a lot of games in the early portion of the season. I'll get, I'll have more games as the season goes on. My volume gets heavier once conference play begins, because for a lot of teams, for just the reasons you talked about, this is an exhibition season for all intents and purposes. The games count, but a lot of coaches don't upon these non-conference games as being life and death, and sometimes that's going to show in the results. So, anyway, good reasons to be on the website every day and getting the selections when they're up in college basketball. They're not going to be guesses, that's for sure. College football tonight, we have a MAC triple header. Excuse me while I grab some water. 3 games. I didn't play any of these games. And Jim, I don't believe you have any. Do you have any plays on these games at all?
I might have one. And
okay.
That would actually I don't think I do. I make a lot of plays. I don't post everything because some of the plays are lesser quality, and like if I have 10 college plays for the weekend that I post, I might have another 10 that are lesser value, but I feel an edge. So I do play different levels of plays, but I don't give out the weaker plays to clients because I don't like rolling the dice with their money.
There you go. Well, we're going to give you a little breakdown on the game tonight. You can call them leans if you want. I wouldn't take these with more than a grain of salt. So a little information though, Toledo, Ohio. It's a pretty interesting game because these two teams will probably be meeting a few weeks down the road in what will be the MAC title game. The game that that Ohio needs is next Tuesday at Akron. That would give they'd be in first place if they win tonight, but even if they don't, if they beat Akron next week, that's probably going to lock up their division in the MAC. Toledo is now alone on top of their division, plus they get the tiebreaker after defeating Northern Illinois last week. So they're in good shape. But both teams are really excited about this matchup, and I think it's probably going to be a pretty high-scoring game. Woodside, this guy's a solid quarterback at Toledo. He rarely makes mistakes. The Rockets have 3 different running backs, each of whom is averaging better than 5 yards. Ohio is a ground-oriented team. They will run the ball with less, and their quarterback, Rourke, is actually more of a thrower than a passer. He's not the most accurate guy in the world throwing the ball, although he did have a very good game last week against Miami. I think it's a toss-up. Should be close all the way, I would think. Making the points more of the value here, but not enough to warrant a play for me.
Well, here's Dave. I want to inject this one thing. The game opened at 7, Toledo 7, and it's down to Toledo 3. I mean, it's been a big move on this game.
Yeah, and I think that's I wish I'd have gotten involved early in the game. I didn't, and unfortunately, it's just a simple enough rule. If you could have gotten, I think the 7 was gone pretty quickly, but. Monday, it was sitting there at 5.5 on Monday, and I'm not going to take 3 when I could have taken 5.5. It's just a good rule for any better. I'm not going to say never, but for the most part, just don't follow the steam, all right? Because you're getting it too late. If you cost yourself value on a regular, on a regular basis, it's going to add up, and it's going to cost you money over the course of the season. Western Michigan is playing Kent State. Obviously, a very big line of this game. However, it's very important to note that Western Michigan lost their quarterback 2 weeks ago. Watson, he's out probably for the season. The backup Goddard, he was 6 for 18 in the loss to Central Michigan. That's not good. It won't matter much here because Western Michigan's going to do nothing. Look, they're a run-oriented team anyway. And they're going to run the ball all night long against Kent State, which cannot stop the run. Kent State, I'm just going to mention this because they don't have the personnel to be particularly good, but man, these coaches sometimes, watching their game last week against Bowling Green, and they're down 17-0, and then they get a nice drive, and they get a touchdown. So now it's 17-6, they missed the extra point. Then the defense gets the stop. So now the team's got a little momentum. I don't know why he would do this, but Paul Haynes, the coach, decides, well, you know what? This is a good time to put the freshman quarterback in. Why would you do that? And by the way, he immediately turns the ball over. And basically, that was the end of the football game. I just do not get these guys. That was stupid. When I see coaches do dumb things like that, I got to tell you something. It's a red flag to ever bet on the team because the coach might completely screw it up at some point. Look, that's the way I feel tonight. I think with the Western Michigan quarterback situation and the fact that just show up and you're going to win, Kent State probably offers a little value, but not with my money. The best game of the three might end up being Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan. This is a really good game. Eastern Michigan is probably the better team, but they lead the nation in close losses. They've had 6 losses, all of those defeats by a touchdown or less. And they've had a couple overtime games. I mean, their games keep going to the wire, and they keep losing them. Central Michigan, they've been in 3 close games this year, and they've won them all. And I think that's something you got to look at here, is the ability to win a game that's close. And since this game does figure to be close, I'd have to lean ever so slightly to the team that knows how to win at the finish line, and that's Central Michigan. So just lean on Ohio, Kent State, and Central Michigan. No play for me. Jim, NFL, you have some things you want to talk about.
Well, overall, the NFL season has been a disappointment for the NFL itself because their ratings are down. You have these protests that are going on that has been blown really out of proportion. You have some owners that want to get rid of Roger Goodell and others want to keep him. You got union issues. You got players that are. One owner says something about the inmates are running the prison. There kind of was a mini player revolt there, and they traded one of their better offensive linemen away. I mean, there's a lot of messy situations in the NFL, and we have about 15 to 17 of the quarterbacks that are starting now in the NFL that should be no more than backups. And the reason they're starting is because it's very hard to find quality quarterbacks, number one, and number two, we keep losing the quality quarterbacks that we have because I feel the direction of the NFL over the last decade has been wrong. They said, let's score more points. Let's create, this goes back even further, let's create fields that there's no mud, there's no dirt, there's just, put them inside and create a lot of points, a lot of offense. That's what the fans want. Well, what you end up with, you pay all the money to the quarterbacks and then you don't pay any money to the offensive linemen that protect the quarterbacks, and you don't pay any money to running backs who also can protect the quarterbacks through blocking and running the ball and controlling the ball. So I think they've messed up the formula of what made pro football great. And I think it needs to reverse. And right now, you've got quarterbacks that barely can throw the ball down the field and certainly can't hit anybody they're aiming at. And they make poor decisions. They're college kids that got paid a lot of money to come to the pros and they're not qualified. And then you have guys like Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers, et cetera, that keep getting hurt, out for the season, and we have what we have. Now, here's the situation. There's several teams that thought that they were going to be pretty good and make the playoffs this year. And it's obvious they are not. Now, what happens to a team like the New York Giants, who are a complete train wreck, the Indianapolis Colts, a complete train wreck. Of course, the Browns are always that, so I'm not wanting to even talk about them. San Francisco, other teams where you have these injuries, where you have offensive linemen. Washington last week played without 3 starting offensive linemen, found out a way to go up to Seattle, which is a tough place to play, and won the game. And it's right now. It's like anything. We have a B league now. It's not an A league anymore. And we have a couple teams that will be in the Super Bowl, and we have a couple well-managed teams that will be there. But the rest of the league, from a handicapping standpoint, going the rest of the way, are some of these teams that were so enamored with making it to the playoffs and perhaps a Super Bowl, are they going to quit? And if they quit, and they're down at halftime or down in the third quarter, and the coaches may be experimenting and such, will that increase, A, the lines that the odds makers have to put up, and B, will it increase the favorites covering? Or will they be overvalued even when they are quitting, and then you have some dog play? So there's a lot of questions when you don't have teams that are going to be very successful, and will the players will go all out as they would otherwise when they were in contention.
Makes sense to me. All right, good stuff. I like it.
Well,
okay,
from here we got a Thursday night game tomorrow, which is Seattle at Arizona. That game is open 5. It's up to 5.5 or 6. The total has come down a little bit from 42.5 to 41.5. And keep in mind, by the way, we are into November, and not everybody enjoys the kind of weather we have here in Las Vegas. There's going to be some bad weather in college and pros that we have to keep in mind as handicappers and bettors. So keep your eyes open for bad weather.
There you go. And again, check the website for the plays I've got. We're rolling right now. It's been really good lately, and I think we're going to keep it going tonight. And, well, maybe not tonight, because I looks like I'm not going to actually have no game tonight, but we've got some stuff up for the weekend right now. Make sure and take advantage of it. That's it. Jim Price, I'm Dave Koken. Enjoy your Wednesday night. We'll do it again tomorrow on Trollline.
And don't forget, our plays are available at jimfeiss.com and vegassportsmasters.com, along with Hank Goldberg's Horses and Sports. Thanks, Dave.